einfach los.
In der Nähe befindet sich ein abspielbares Echo.
Komm schon.
Gerade eine neue Ladung Styropor gebracht. Bei Ihnen alles klar?
Weg hier!
Ein Blick kann nicht schaden.
Erfasse ein Echo in der Nähe.
Warum müssen wir in der Kälte warten und du darfst als Erster ran?
Scheiße, ist das kalt.
Haltet die Klappe und passt auf!
Faye? Faye, hier ist Heather.
Gott sei Dank. Ich habe mir solche Sorgen gemacht. Wo bist du? Bist du in Sicherheit?
Ich habe das Funkgerät im Apartment vergessen. Aber mir geht's gut. Ich musste bloß meine Gitarre auf dem Schädel von irgendeinem Typen zertrümmern.
Du musstest was? Nein, ist egal. Hör mir zu, Heather. Ich schicke dir eine Eskorte, die dich in Sicherheit Sicherheit bringt.
Meine
Bleib
Güte, Sie
genau,
waren
wo du
aber
bist
schnell.
und beweg dich nicht
Kann
von
ich
der
jetzt raus
Stelle.
hier?
Und was Sie angeht, Agent, das bedeutet mir viel. Unglaublich viel. Ich schicke eine JTF-Patrouille vorbei. Ich schulde Ihnen einen Gefallen. Einen großen. Ich kann Ihnen nicht genug danken. Ich melde mich. Lau Ende.
Alarm. Verbündeter Division-Agent getroffen.
Jetzt hinter uns! Auf die Knie! Warum müssen wir in der Kälte warten und du darfst als Erster ran? Joder, me congelo. Callaos y vigilad el callejón.
Agente, necesitamos tu ayuda para recuperar cierto material de esterilización. Y dadas las condiciones antihigiénicas, lo necesito desesperadamente. Lo malo es que está en las alcantarillas. Por favor, encuéntralo y esterilízalo luego.
Soy invencible. Enseñadles quiénes somos.
Gracias por echarnos una mano.
No tenemos problemas, ¿verdad?
¡Malditos degenerados! ¡Resistiremos aquí! Nueva York está muy bien.
Gracias a Dios que has encontrado el material. Lo necesito, vamos, que lo necesitamos todos, con urgencia. Gracias por tu ayuda.
Señal eco activa detectada.
La ley del más fuerte.
¡Arrodíllate! ¡Es un disparo limpio!
¡No perdáis más tiempo!
¡Que nos matan!
Estáis escuchando al Tito Rick y esto es de haberlo sabido. El podcast pirata en tu radio. Bueno, todo el mundo ha oído hablar de la JTF, ¿no? Son piruetos, bomberos, paramédicos, miembros de la Guardia Nacional y reservistas haciendo todo lo que pueden para que parezca que todavía existe el orden cívico y que intentan que nada se vaya a la mierda. Todos mis respetos para esa gente. Como dicen las marionetas, son gente como vosotros. Son como nosotros, pero no son los únicos ahí fuera. ¿Habéis escuchado hablar alguna vez de una cosa llamada la Directiva Presidencial de Seguridad Nacional número 51? ¿No? Claro que no. No es la clase de noticia que sale en la portada de los periódicos, no. La Directiva 51 es el típico plan de acción en caso de golpe de Estado, lo que los espías llaman continuidad de gobierno. No parece tan jodido, ¿verdad? Eso es hasta que te enteras de cómo funciona. Resulta que tienen agentes del gobierno camuflados entre nosotros. Y cuando lanzan la Directiva 51, esos agentes se ponen en movimiento. Nuestro gobierno tiene grupos de agentes inactivos en nuestro puto país. Rollo NSA. Gente como tú y como yo. Hasta que ¡plas! Empieza la fiesta y... ¿qué pasa? Empiezan a
mira lo que tengo para ti.
A meternos en campos, a ejecutarnos, ni idea. La cosa es que nadie sabe nada. Es decir, nadie imparcial.
Si tú lo quieres, yo te lo consigo.
Al menos es transparente. ¿Quién es esta gente? ¿O qué tienen entre manos? Es un secreto tan secreto que ni el presidente sabrá nada al respecto. Negación creíble, gente. Negación creíble, hostia puta. Tierra de libertad. No
Me alegro de saber que lo vas a llevar tú.
Acabamos de traer otra... Acabamos de traer otra carga de poliestireno. ¿Vas bien?
Sí, estamos con el nuevo lote. Tenemos más que suficiente para actuar.
Odio a los malditos cleaners.
Prioridad de la JTF. Los cleaners tienen rehenes civiles en la comisaría de la 26 Oeste. Todas las unidades respondan de inmediato.
Peligro. Detectada presencia enemiga.
Esto se iba a poner muy, muy feo. Gracias por ayudarnos.
Al fin, muchas gracias. Estaba acojonado. Voy a largarme de aquí, pero ya.
Agente, hemos recibido varias llamadas de socorro. Un momento. Madre mía. ¿De qué color es eso? Perdona. Sí, te mando las coordenadas de la transmisión.
Seguro que hay algo mejor.
Protocolo de cuarentena activo. Por favor, no toque ni tosa a otras personas mientras esperan.
Por aquí.
Generador de electricidad estable. Advertencia. Se han detectado enemigos.
Gracias, agente.
Al fin. Muchas gracias. Estaba acojonado. Voy a largarme de aquí, pero ya.
Acabamos.
Tenemos el cuartel de los Cleaners. Están usando una zona en obras como base de operaciones y almacén de suministros.
Es difícil esconderse cuando preparas tanto napalm como para incinerar Canarsie.
Lo que el capitán Benítez quiere decir es que es ahí donde tienen sus instalaciones de producción de napalm. Sin ellas, los Cleaners serán más fáciles de tratar.
Claro que no es cosa de entrar y desenchufar las máquinas. El tal Joe Ferro parece ser el jefazo y tiene la mitad de sus miembros defendiendo el lugar. Vas a tener que encargarte de ellos para hacer tu trabajo.
Venga, que me lo he ganado. Va a ser divertido.
Tienen condiciones. Los he visto mejores.
Espero que no me disparen a mí.
Eso no han sido pedazos.
Eso ha sido inesperado. Gracias.
Acabamos de traer otro...
Tenemos el cuartel de los Cleaners. Están usando una zona en obras como base de operaciones y almacén de suministros.
Es difícil esconderse cuando preparas tanto napalm como para incinerar Canarsie.
Lo que el capitán Benítez quiere decir es que es ahí donde tienen sus instalaciones de producción de napalm. Sin ellas, los Cleaners serán más fáciles de tratar.
Claro que no es cosa de entrar y desenchufar las máquinas. El tal Joe Ferro parece ser el jefazo y tiene la mitad de sus miembros defendiendo el lugar. Vas a tener que encargarte de ellos para hacer tu trabajo.
A todas las unidades. Hemos avistado una patrulla de Cleaners en la 23 Oeste. Evitad la zona.
Solicitado refuerzos de la JTF. Peligro. Fuerzas enemigas acercándose.
Agente, los cleaners no dejan de incendiar edificios y no podemos apagarlos todos. Si no acabamos con su producción de napalm, reducirán el distrito a cenizas en cuanto tengan el viento a favor.
El caso es que tienen las instalaciones en pleno centro de su cuartel general. Y ahí es a donde vas.
Encuéntralas, destrúyelas y que no quede nada que reconstruir.
Y para eso lo mejor es cargarse a Joe Ferro. Si se salva, volverá a empezar en otra parte. Aquello debería estar repleto de depósitos de napalm y gasolina. Destruye todos los que encuentres como puedas. No queremos que los cleaners arramblen con lo que te deje. Ya hemos visto lo que son capaces de hacer.
Aviso. Un agente del equipo requiere atención médica inmediata. Aviso. Agente del equipo caído. Necesita ayuda.
Necesito que vosotros y vuestro equipo patrulléis el perímetro. Tengo un mal presentimiento.
Tranquilo. ¿Qué te parece? ¿Quema bien? ¿Ves bien este lote? No está mal, pero me gustaría más si no hubiera estado cerca de caernos encima. No ha sido nada. Avisa a los de arriba y dile a los chicos que vayan rellenando los tanques. Aval, ¿de estás ahí? ¿Qué pasa? La patrulla de Patterson no me recibe. Dejad de hacer el capullo y estad atentos. Puede que...
Necesita ayuda. Aviso. Agente del equipo caído. Necesita ayuda.
Atención, muchachos, tenemos compañía. Dejad lo que estáis haciendo y matad a esos hijos de puta. ¿Me oís? ¡No dejen que se acerquen al tanque!
Aviso. Agente del equipo caído. Necesita ayuda. inmediato.
Acaba de llegar más trabajo.
Aviso. Agente del equipo caído. Necesita ayuda.
Otro tiro y estará acabado. Vamos a
Aviso. Un agente del equipo requiere atención médica inmediata. Aviso. Agente del equipo caído. Necesita ayuda. Necesita ayuda. Aviso. Un agente del equipo requiere atención médica inmediata.
¿Me oís? ¡No dejéis que se acerquen al tanque!
Advertencia. Detectada señal química de explosivos. Origen identificado. Alerta. Explosivos colocados. Listos para detonar.
Todos sabéis lo que estamos haciendo y lo importante que es. Todos sabéis lo que va a pasar si no cancelamos esta cosa. Hay gente que confía en nosotros, nuestras familias, nuestros amigos y todo el puto mundo. Por eso tenemos que resistir cualquier ataque. Y ni caso si dicen que son del gobierno, que sabéis que es mentira. Si los detenemos son, podemos salvar la ciudad, podemos salvar el mundo. Si los dejamos pasar, todo lo que hemos hecho habrá sido en vano. Y no lo vamos a permitir.
Alerta. Explosivos colocados. Listos para detonar.
Todos sabéis lo que estamos haciendo y lo importante que es. Todos sabéis lo que va a pasar si no cancelamos esta cosa. Hay gente que confía en nosotros, nuestras familias, nuestros amigos y todo el puto mundo. Por eso tenemos que resistir cualquier ataque. Y ni caso si dicen que son del gobierno, que sabéis que es mentira. Si los detenemos son, podemos salvar la ciudad, podemos salvar el mundo. Si los dejamos pasar, todo lo que hemos hecho habrá sido en vano. Y no lo vamos a permitir.
Alerta. Explosivos colocados. Listos para detonar.
Todos sabéis lo que estamos haciendo y lo importante que es. Todos sabéis lo que va a pasar si no cancelamos esta cosa. Hay gente que confía en nosotros. Nuestras familias, nuestros amigos y todo el puto mundo. Por eso tenemos que resistir cualquier ataque. Y en caso si dicen que son del gobierno, que sabéis que es mentira. Si los detenemos hoy, podemos salvar la ciudad, podemos salvar el mundo. Si los dejamos pasar, todo lo que hemos hecho habrá sido en vano. Y no lo vamos a permitir.
Alerta. Explosivos colocados. Listos para detonar.
Todos sabéis lo que estamos haciendo y lo importante que es. Todos sabéis lo que va a pasar si no castigamos esta cosa. Hay gente que confía en nosotros, nuestras familias, nuestros amigos y todo el puto mundo. Por eso tenemos que resistir cualquier ataque. Y ni caso si dicen que son del gobierno, que sabéis que es mentira. Si los detenemos podemos salvar la ciudad, podemos salvar el mundo. Si los dejamos pasar, todo lo que hemos hecho habrá sido en vano. Y no lo vamos a permitir.
Alerta. Explosivos colocados. Listos para detonar.
Ô, dona Arlete, aqui é o Marinho. O ar-condicionado que eu arrumei para a senhora ali não está gelando, né? O senhor Oswaldo falou para mim que era para ligar para a senhora. Assim, ó, dona Arlete, a senhora está colocando o controle do ar-condicionado no cool, não? Ai, meu Deus. A função que tem no controle, dona Arlete, é C-O-O-L. É cool. Cool, né? A senhora tem que botar o controle no cu. Desculpa, só bota o controle no cu ou coloca na função cu, entendeu, dona Lete? Pede pro seu Oswaldo colocar o controle no cu, que aí o ar deve gelar, dona Lete.
Everybody loves Donkey Kong and his little buddy Diddy, and they were the face of the Donkey Kong Country franchise for years, even when DK took a back seat in Donkey Kong Country 2. But then the franchise took an unexpected turn. For the third entry in the series, neither of the Kongs that the audience knew and loved were featured as playable characters. Instead, it was Dixie Kong and Kiddy Kong in the spotlight. Many players ended up ignoring DKC 3 due to the cast changeup, including yours truly. But in doing so, they might have missed out on one of the most refined Donkey Kong Country games ever released. And so today, I'll be finding out for myself when I complete Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of The Completionist. If you want to get into the number here on live stream. The world was looking for something spectacular from the team, given their rise to the forefront of great developers in the 16-bit era. DKC 1 blew everyone away when it first came out. No one had ever seen anything that looked like it. Rare had managed to get 3D sort of sprites onto the screen of SNES owners, and our minds exploded at the sheer beauty of it. For real, it redefined what a platformer could look like, and I'll be Diddy Kong's uncle if it still doesn't look great today. But it wasn't perfect. At least we didn't know it wasn't perfect until DKC 2 came out. Now that's a perfect Donkey Kong Country game. It took the previous game's amazing graphics, made them better, and wrapped it all up with incredible level and character design. And then the N64 came out in September of 1996. Rare was on the verge of basically creating the console first-person shooter in GoldenEye, and then putting out one of the best 3D platformers ever in Banjo-Kazooie. But they had one more trick up their collective sleeves for the final days of the Super Nintendo, Donkey Kong Country 3. I'll be real, I did not play DKC 3 when it first came out. Whether it was because I didn't trust that little baby Kong and his weird feet with a single toe, or if it's because little Gerard camped out all night at a Toys R Us to get an N64 and was going to be damn sure that he was playing Mario 64 until his fingers bled. And to be honest, I hesitated to review this game because I have so much love for the first two games in the series. What would I do if I did not like this one? I'd throw my whole DKC loving brand into chaos. Either way, I have very little idea about what I'm getting myself into this time around. I'm sure I'll have to collect something banana related, probably some coins, maybe a bird or something. You know what? Let's just look this thing up. The only way to find out is to actually complete it. And the first thing I'll have to do in order to make that happen, obviously, is beat all of the levels, conquer all of the bonuses and get the respective bonus coins. Okay, I can do that. Find all of the banana birds. Not sure what that means, but it's on the list. Beat every enemy guarding a DK coin? Well, that's new to this game, but how hard can that be? It all seems pretty easy. Ah, crap, there's a hard mode. Of course there's a hard mode. Rare wanted to raise the stakes on this one, didn't they? Fine, Rare, you win this round. I'll jump through your stupid little hoops. But if there ain't a bonus for me at the end of the game, we are through. I will never play another Rare game ever again. I swear on my mint copy of Shantae on the Game Boy Color. Wait, no, what the hell am I saying? I freaking love Rare games. I have so many to replay on the show? What am I, nuts? If you've ever played the other DKC games, you'll know what to expect from DKC 3's narrative, visuals, and audio design. And really, why try and fix something that ain't broke here? Rare knocked it out of the park with their first shot at the Big Monkey's platforming adventure and had no reason to look back to change anything. But what Rare did do was take an already amazing visual style and make it even better over the course of the next two games. And DKC 3 is the pinnacle of that style. This is the golden era of Rare, folks, at the absolute peak of their game, creating a visually stunning game equipped with masterful music and fascinating character design for a platform that they already had absolutely mastered. However, for all of its awesome praise, DKC 3 was not made by the same team who made DKC 1 and 2, so a lot of liberties were taken to spice up the game's variety. Now, I do have one beef, and that beef has to do with Kiddy Kong, the new protagonist this time around, and honestly, my least favorite character in the entire Kong clan. He's weird. He's weird, and I'm not sure if I like him. Like, okay, I get it. He's a baby, but he's a very large baby. Too big for one so young. It's disturbing. Plus, what's up with his feet? Look at him. They're creepy, and don't tell me the little bit of his bottom feet is just extra material. Have you seen a onesie large enough to be too big for such a massive baby ape? No. The answer is no, you have not. So why is he even here? Well, it's pretty simple. Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong went off to the Northern Hemisphere shortly after the events of DKC 2. At some point, they disappeared. Dixie, being the adventurous heroine she is, decides to go and find them. Once there, she finds a robot dude named Chaos. I think it's Chaos. Chaos has taken over the whole damn place and probably took our two favorite Kong boys hostage. And for some reason, Funky Kong gives his responsibility of taking care of Kiddy Kong and hands it off to Dixie. Let me stress how bad of an idea this is. Kiddy is not just a baby, a trait that already would have made him worthless on an ape-saving adventure. He's also an extremely strong baby. Can you imagine what would happen if an 8-month-old human had the strength of a gorilla? Forget baby-proofing your home, folks. That little monster would break right through your cupboard doors. All beef with the babies aside, the duo head off on an adventure into a brand new area of Donkey Kong Country to find the Double Ds. And this time, they're ditching their natural tropical habitat and headed up to a mountainous area. As far as the story goes, it's alright. I am bummed because it just seems too easy to remove Diddy from the last game, when in the last game they removed Donkey Kong. In the next game, they would probably remove Dixie Kong and replace him with Kiddy Kong, or as I want to call him, Feetsy Kong. Donkey Kong Country 4, Feetsy's Footsy's Revenge. That means that everything we've known about DKC's normal world is just a bit different. We're not on the ocean anymore. It's a big old lake. Gone are mines, and in place are sawmills. Yeah, you still slide down some waterfalls, but now there's snow-capped mountains for some monkey antics. It's a whole new world out there for the Kong clan, and I doubt they even have snowsuits. Every level is unique, handcrafted, and beautiful. I'd put this game up against any of the games on the SNES library, and it would still hold a pretty compelling amount of beauty compared to that pantheon. Rare had some of my absolute favorite composers on their staff. From Grant Kirkhope to David Wise, they really knew how to match the visuals with the music in a very captivating way. However, when it comes to DKC 3, David Wise composed some of the music. Most of the music from this game came from Evelyn Novakovic, and she does a pretty stellar job here. Some songs do sound a little too basic, like the first stage, but overall, when this game goes in, it really goes in. Rare was just so on point in the mid-90s that they could have set DKC 3 literally anywhere and it would have looked amazing. But their version of what's basically Canada is just as beautiful as their version of the jungle. While I went in not really liking the look of the game as a whole, I was eventually sold on it as I made my way through the wilderness and saw all the new characters. I got more and more excited about seeing everything the game had to offer. While most of the enemies are variants of the Kremlin crew that you fought back in the jungles, there are a few that stand out as particularly inventive. For every crimp, which are glorified claptraps, there are the Nakas, which hide in barrels and run around like a bunch of lunatics. For every crumple, just like a crusher, there's the copters, who spin around like a lunatic helicopter when the Kongs get too close. Oh, and then there's the booty birds, which don't do much but drop collectibles. I'm gonna be honest, I'm only bringing those up so I can say booty bird as many times as I can throughout this video. Booty bird, booty bird, booty bird. Booty bird. I can't ignore all the children's allies either. The brothers Bear that you end up doing favors for most of the game make me laugh every time I see them. I know Banjo came out after the fact, but I just kept screaming, "I'm Banjo!" every time I saw one. Look at these guys. Their outfits are so good. I want all of them to come hang out with me so I can have a good laugh all the time. So stylish, so pure. My only complaint visually, other than Kiddy Kong's disturbing feet, is the boss design. I just feel like they're not that exciting. Belcha is just a barrel. Eric is just a big, terrifying spider. And even the mighty Chaos is a pretty basic looking robot. And all they did to the feared King K. Rool is put a white scientist's jacket on him and call him Baron K. Rulenstein. While that name is undeniably funny, it's just not that exciting. Even the best boss in the game, Bleak, just looks like a Clay Fighter character. Despite the relatively weak boss design, DKC 3 is still one of the finest examples of game design on the SNES. Yo, that's how we fix it. That's how you fix DKC 3. Make Kiddy Kong the boss of the game. Those feet could be a phase in itself, and it would be awful to deal with. DKC 3 plays nearly identical to the series' previous games, including its easygoing completion process. However, one of the game's hero's defining mechanical characteristics are a little hard to pin down at first. While it may take a while to get there, players will eventually discover what makes Kiddy Kong so unique and fun. It's still a 2D platformer with two characters, each with different powers. Dixie Kong is the same as she was in DKC 2, still being able to float across long distances by spinning her pigtails. Kiddy Kong is similar to Donkey Kong in that he can chuck his smaller partner into the air or at enemies, but he does have the added bonus of being able to roll around. That roll can be used to smack down enemies or skip across water, letting you skip swimming sections because the swimming sections are kind of not too good. Most of DKC 3 is taking advantage of the pair's particular abilities to get what you want. Do you just want to complete the levels? The kids are there for you. Are you an absolute lunatic like me and want to grab everything, find the secret zones, and get that sweet 100% plus completion rating? Well, you better get over to how creepy Kiddy Kong looks and get really good at playing that little weirdo, because you're gonna need all the help you can get in this one. DKC 3 still has tons of collectibles because that's just what the rare Donkey Kong games have been about. Hidden throughout the levels of DKC 3 are the bonus coins, the bear coins, banana birds, of course the letters K-O-N-G to spell Kong, and the obvious DK coins. But the real joy of DKC 3, just like any other Donkey Kong Country game, is the creativity that Rare had when it came to level design. No two levels are alike, from the standard platforming that you've expected from the early levels like Lakeside Limbo, to the more vertical designs of Squeals on Wheels, to waterfall climbers like Barrel Drop Bounce, to the sledding zones like Tearaway Toboggan. It's incredible how many different styles of gameplay they managed to pack into a single product. That creativity makes each and every level an absolute joy to explore, which is good because I'm gonna have to be doing that a whole lot to make sure I get each and every collectible in this game. Thankfully, Dixie, Kiddy, and I will have a lot of help. Not only do many of the usual Kong suspects like Cranky, Swanky, Wrinkly, and yes, even the most venerable rad dude, Funky Kong, make their way up north to help out, a whole bunch of new animal buds are hanging out to give us a hand. Funky runs a little vehicle rental place. Wrinkly is a proprietor to the Save Cave where, you guessed it, you can save your game. Swanky operates Swanky Sideshow where you can play games during collectibles like Extra Lives, Bear Coins, and Banana Punches. Cranky is also there to be an which is to be expected from that old coot at this point. Next up, the animal friends. Now, if you've played the other DKCs, you'll recognize a few of them. On Guard the Swordfish is still around, and you can still swim real good and stab people with his face. Squitter the Spider is back from DKC 2 in all of his shoe-wearing glory. Even Squawks is back. But there's also a new crew of friends to help you out on this journey. There's Quawks, who's just like Squawks, but he can't spit eggs like his big cousin. There's Nibla, an enemy that changes sides to help out the Kongs on a single level, but needs regular feedings to earn his ally status. There's Ellie the Elephant, who basically replaces Rambi, but unlike the Rhino Bud from DKC 1 and 2, she can also vacuum up barrels and water to shoot at enemies. Then there's Perry the Parallel Bird. Perry is a weirdo. He follows the two monkeys around, doing everything that they do, but just on another part of the screen. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, there's the Banana Bird Queen. She's a big bird that looks like a banana that's been captured by K. Rool and his evil goons. In order to finish the game, you'll have to bring her children, the Banana Birds, so she can have the strength to break out and go after the big evil Kremling once and for all. And really, what's more animal friendly than that? As with any sort of completionist run, everything starts with just getting through the levels. They're not too tough. Then comes the tracking down of each and every collectible and hidden area. As far as collectibles, DKC 3 takes a similar approach to DKC 2. Just about everything that you need for the endgame content is locked behind collectibles, and those collectibles aren't just in levels. This time around, there's a bunch of stuff hidden in the overworld, and to get to new zones on the overworld, you'll need to unlock a bunch of vehicles like the Turbo Skis or the Hovercraft. To get those vehicles, you'll need to get items to trade to Funky Kong for rental services by beating up each area boss. But to get those bosses, you need the vehicle. So it's a real chicken and the egg situation. Being able to run around the world like that is a genius move from Rare. While most overworlds just serve as a way to get from level to level, DKC3's overworld actually matters. You can find hidden items, levels, or whatever else you need once you unlock the ability to roam around it. It certainly doesn't hurt that the map is absolutely beautiful just to stare at, practically begging you to explore every nook and cranny it has to offer. I do have to bring up one little thing though about the DK coins though. Rather than being hidden in worlds behind interesting platform puzzles like in the previous games, in DKC3, they're being protected by enemies called coins. Yes, with a K of course. Frankly, I found that a little disappointing because all you had to do was trick those dumb little dudes by chucking a barrel off the wall behind them and knocking them out. It felt like a bit of a step back for the way the series typically did DK coins. While I'm talking about weirdness of collectibles, let's talk about the huge number of different items in this game. There are things like the 5 cogs that are traded to Boomer in order to make K. Rool's Nautilus emerge from the lake. There's a whole bunch of gifts to be traded to the Brothers Bear, like the bowling ball, the mirror, which is traded for a number 6 wrench for some weird reason, but also used for decoding a message. There's the patch that's used for Funky Kong to repair the hovercraft. There's the skis, the present, the shell, the bear coins, and there's so much to get in this game. What I'm trying to say is that there's a ton of items and they're all useful for something. And quite frankly, I got pretty lost among all this stuff. Of course, there are the standard hidden areas that appear in every single Donkey Kong Country game. To get the full completion status, I'll have to find each and every bonus barrel and nail their objective. Thankfully, the minigames they contain are pretty darn cool and easy. Even the most difficult ones were so fun and challenging that I was happy to take them on whenever I got the chance. Speaking of tough levels, the bonus world in DKC3 is absolutely amazing. Like some sort of Star Road from Mario World, they all present some really unique and interesting challenges for you to take on. They immediately became some of my favorite levels in this platformer. Yeah, you heard me. This game is worth playing through just for that tough zone. Overall, DKC3 surprised the hell out of me with how good it is. Yeah, I think it's not that revolutionary. The bosses are pretty standard. We know what to expect from enemy designs by now, and the levels are reimaginings of old concepts. But not every game has to be a revolution. They can just be evolutions. And that's what DKC3 feels like. It's a step forward for a franchise that already broke all the rules of 2D platformers and made an incredible swan song for the SNES. Goodbye, SNES. You hardly knew ye. Well, we did, but you were still pretty cool. Maybe I've come to expect concept art, new cutscenes, new items, whatever from developers to play their games. But that was not the way the folks rolled back in the SNES era. You finished a game and that was it. And Donkey Kong Country 3 is no different. But you do get a little something for finishing up one set of the game's collectibles. Once you've picked up each and every DK coin in the game, the funkiest of Kongs will hand over the keys to his signature mini helicopter. Once you've got that, you're free to go anywhere. You can pick up each and every banana bird, some of which are only available with that helicopter. You can also head to any level that you've missed collectibles in. In addition to the password that grants you the ability to play this game on the hardest difficulty, the game also has a few more passwords that grant different effects. If you put in the code COLOR, you will change the color of both Dixie and Kitty's clothes. If you put the code MARY in, some of the bonus stages will have their music theme replaced with a more Christmassy version. And the collectibles will change from bananas to presents and stars to ornaments. You can also enter in codes for more lives, a code that will give you all the bonus coins, and even a code for a sound test. And while none of these codes are mind-blowing or anything, they are kind of fun. But as I've said a few times before, DKC3 is still a Donkey Kong Country game. That means completing it is all about the journey and not the destination. Once I completed the game, I was rewarded with a nice 103% on the save screen. Considering the first game capped out at 101% and the second at 102%, you'd think that I was done at 103%, right? Wrong. This game goes up to 105%. And to do that, it was time for harder mode. This mode removes all but 5 of the DK barrels and all the checkpoint barrels in each stage. Now that doesn't seem so bad at first, but remember, if you lose both your monkeys, you lose the level. That means every time you get hit in harder mode, it matters that much more, and if you die, you have to start at the very beginning of that level. The game cuts you a break though, since you start every level with both Kongs ready to go. For someone who has really gotten good at the Donkey Kong Country games over the years, the mode was more of a time sink than anything. But hey, I got it done, because you know, completionist. I'd say for most players, it's genuinely not that hard to pull off, but definitely skippable. And you know what? That's okay. I may not have been sold on the third entry in the Country series before I started, but I was pleasantly surprised with how well it holds up. I really like Donkey Kong Country 3. Sure, it may not hold a candle to DKC 2, as that game was perfect in about every way in my eyes, but I'm willing to rank this game above the first. And based on how much I love the first game, that's one hell of a spot to be at. While I completed Donkey Kong Country 3, there were 312 deaths, 80 DK coins collected, 30 banana birds rescued, 170 bonus coins earned, 12 hours of total playtime, and 7 nightmares revolving around Kiddy Kong in that onesie. Someone get him a better onesie! Get him shoes! Change his diaper! Do something! While DKC 3 didn't break any new ground for me when it comes to platformers or recapturing the magic that was Diddy Kong's Quest, it's still one hell of a good platformer. And really, what else would you have expected from Rare at its game design peak? Even with toughest mode on the horizon, this game makes you feel accomplished every step of the way. If you like Donkey Kong Country games, then you'll love this one too. Donkey Kong Country 3 is a remarkably fun time. Admittedly, when I played on Beard Bros, I was kind of pessimistic throughout the playthrough, but the more and more I played it, the more and more I enjoyed the game. Looking back at it now, this game had some pretty interesting level designs. I love Donkey, I love all the bears, and I love the overworld hub and the exploration that's encouraged upon playing this game. The boss fights are pretty interesting, and the entire idea of completing the game the way they want you to is actually a fun process. So, with that in mind, guys, I give this game my completionist rating of complete it.
Complete it!
That's all time here for today, guys, so please, as always, let me know what you thought of today's episode somewhere on the internet. If you liked today's video, smash that like button. Let me know down in those comments. And hey, if you missed last week's video, you can give that a click or tap right here on the screen. And if you want to subscribe, that would be sick. And you can do that by clicking and tapping the fist on screen as well. Hit the bell, stay up to date. New videos Tuesdays and Fridays. I won't spam your feed. Guys, I've been the Completionist, and I'll see you next week for another brand new episode. Bye-bye!